The sun had just set over the bustling streets of New York City, casting a warm orange glow over the crowded sidewalks. The smell of food from street vendors wafted through the air, mingling with the sound of car horns and chatter. Amidst the chaos, a lone musician stood out, his music weaving in and out of the cacophony like a thread of gold. Jack was a street musician, known for his soulful voice and enchanting melodies. He had been playing on these streets for years, honing his craft and developing a loyal following of fans who would stop and listen whenever he began to play. But what Jack didn't know was that his music held a secret power, the ability to reveal people's hidden desires. It started with Emily, a young professional who had been walking down the street, lost in thought. She stopped and listened as Jack began to play a haunting melody on his guitar. As the notes filled the air, she felt a sudden sense of clarity wash over her. She realized that she had been feeling stuck in her job, unsure if it was truly fulfilling her dreams. The music seemed to tap into a deep well of emotion within her, and suddenly the answer became clear. She needed to make a change. Over the next few days, Jack noticed more and more people stopping to listen to him play. Some were drawn by the beauty of his music, while others seemed to be searching for something specific. As he watched them, he began to realize that his melody was having an unusual effect on these strangers. They would stop and listen, their eyes glassy with emotion, before suddenly remembering where they came from and hurrying away. At first, Jack thought it was just his imagination playing tricks on him. But as the phenomenon continued, he began to suspect that there was something more at play. He started to research the history of music and its effects on human behavior, hoping to understand the secrets behind his melody. One night, as he played in a small park, Jack met an old man who seemed different from the others. The man listened intently, his eyes closed, before nodding slowly and saying, "You're playing with fire, young man." Jack was taken aback. What did the old man mean? But as he watched him walk away, he felt a shiver run down his spine. The next day, Jack began to experience strange occurrences. People who had been drawn to his music would start showing up at his doorstep, asking for help with things they couldn't explain. They would reveal their deepest desires and fears, and Jack would feel a sense of unease, as if he was being pulled into a world beyond his own. As the days passed, Jack realized that his melody was not just a simple tune, it was a key to unlocking the human psyche. And with this power came great responsibility. He began to wonder if he should continue playing on the streets, knowing the potential consequences of his music. Despite his reservations, Jack couldn't resist the allure of his own art. He continued to play, pouring his heart and soul into every note. But as he did so, he felt a growing sense of detachment from the world around him. The people who stopped to listen began to change. They would gaze at him with an almost hypnotic intensity, their eyes searching for something that only Jack could provide. One evening, as Jack played in a quiet alleyway, he saw a young couple standing across the street. They seemed lost in conversation, their faces inches apart. As Jack finished his song, they turned to look at him, and for an instant, Jack felt like he was looking into the very soul of humanity. The woman's eyes locked onto his, and she whispered something that made Jack's heart skip a beat. "We're searching for our home." In that moment, Jack realized that his melody had become more than just a simple tune. It was a window into the collective unconscious, revealing the deepest desires and fears of humanity. He felt both exhilarated and terrified by this power, knowing that he could change lives with every note. As the days went by, Jack continued to play, but with caution now. He knew that his music had the power to heal as well as harm. And so, he began to experiment, using his melody to help those in need. He started playing for people who were struggling, using his music to bring them closer together. It was a delicate balance. Jack couldn't just shut off his own desires, but neither could he allow himself to be consumed by the power of his music. And as he navigated this tightrope, he began to realize that the true secret to his melody lay not in its ability to reveal hidden desires, but in its capacity to bring people together. Years went by, and Jack's music continued to have a profound effect on those who listened. But with each passing day, he grew more and more aware of the price of this power. It was a price that only he could pay. His own heart began to fill with sorrow as he watched the world around him begin to fall apart. Despite this, Jack remained steadfast in his dedication to his music. He continued to play, pouring his soul into every note. And though it took its toll on him, he knew that he was making a difference, small but real. In the end, Jack's melody became a beacon of hope for humanity, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always something to be cherished and shared. His music continued to inspire generations to come, leaving behind a legacy that transcended time itself. The legend of Jack's melody lived on, passed down from person to person like a precious gem. And as people heard his story, they began to realize that the true power of his music lay not in its ability to reveal hidden desires, but in its capacity to connect us all, to bring us together in a shared humanity. As for Jack, he vanished into the night, leaving behind only his melody and the echoes of his heart. Some say that on quiet nights, when the stars are aligned just right, you can still hear him playing, his music a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can have far-reaching consequences.